Put it all on the line.
You got to put your game face on. It's a good way to really show people what you're made of, but also at the same time, it also exposes your weaknesses and shows you where you need to work on things.
And it's just the sheer magnitude of the event. Between the four main primary divisions, you have 300, 400 cars pretty much in all of them.
Everybody's here, and it's just, you got to go. Give it your all, and don't make friends.
For the shootout! It is showtime in Tulsa.
Green flag, the shootout begins.
He's won 2, now 3. Straight front wins the shootout. Blake Hahn, an 8th Golden Driller in the modern era.
Dustin Torgerson, your winner of the weekday class Golden Driller. And back-to-back, Emerson Axel, winning outlaw winner of the Tulsa Shootout.
It's the best weekend ever because it's the Golden Driller.
And a very pleasant good morning to you. Happy Saturday, wherever you guys are watching from. Welcome to our live coverage of the 40th Annual Smiley's Racing Products Tulsa Shootout, powered by NOS Energy Drink, here on Flow. Driller season has arrived today. Driller Saturday, 6 Golden Drillers going home with one of 1,800 different entries that we had for this record-breaking Tulsa Shootout. My name is Caleb Hart. He's Blake Anderson. He is Chris A. Moore. And Blake, welcome to your first Driller Saturday at the Tulsa Shootout.
I'm excited. The intensity certainly picked up late in the afternoon yesterday, and as we close the evening, very intense at the top of the ramp. And today, I think, man, 40 B mains, it's going to get wild, Chris.
Yeah, it was palpable up there at the top of the ramp. As soon as qualifiers rolled into the staging lane, you just felt the energy in the building pick up, and it's only going to get more picked up as we get in today. B mains, LCQs, and of course, everybody chasing those Golden Drillers at the end of the day. Young man said it at the end of the opening. It's the best weekend ever because it's the Golden Driller, and today's Golden Driller Day.
We've got about 60 races on tap for you from the drop of the green flag all the way up to the final checkered here on FloRacing. Excited that you guys have joined us. Hopefully you don't have to play hooky from work anymore and had the screen up while you were trying to fake being productive over the first couple of days here of the new year. Schedule looks like this. And guys, just because you get through a B main, only 2 get through a B main here today, doesn't mean your day is done, doesn't mean you made the show. Why? Because we have last chance qualifiers. 2 cars will make it through each of the 8 B mains per division that will start our morning off. They will all pile into a 16-car LCQ, where the top half of the LCQ finish moves to the back of the A main event tonight. It is just part of the filtering process where we get down to the most elite of the guys here at the shootout.
Yeah, you know, if you're in one of those later B mains, second and first is a big, big difference, right? If you're in that last B main, you win it, you end up starting in a qualifying spot in an LCQ. You finish second in it, you're starting last in that LCQ. So those B mains are going to be intense even when you're talking about the 2 transfer spots because, again, that's a difference between 8 starting positions come LCQ time.
Right, exactly. You're in the show versus out of the show, Blake.
I think I might be more excited for the LCQs than almost as much as the Drillers, just because it's so intense, because guys, it's all on the line. It's do or die.
Yeah, I talked about it. There's almost kind of a deep breath and exhale when you make it, when you get in, that you don't have in the other races in B mains and in LCQs. The intensity and the pressure, urgency is still there in those LCQs.
Well, taking a look at some track facts as they continue to roll the water into the surface here at the Expo Raceway. This racetrack exists 30 days a year. It's fairly cool on that regard. 1/5 of the mile with the old Tulsa Fairgrounds clay on the dirt. That has been absolutely phenomenal from 4 days of racing so far. Let's see if we can hit a home run on day number 5.
I've been very impressed with how good this track has been all week, and you listen to the drivers talk about it. As a driver, it's all you could ever want. You've got a bottom, you've got a high side, slick through the middle for slide jobs. It's put on a great show, and I'm excited to see where it goes today. And then, shoot, you look ahead to next week or a week and a half from now and Chili Bowl time and see what we can get that. If we can get the track that we've had this week at Chili Bowl is going to be very very, very good.
I think it's safe to start looking forward at least a week or so at this point in time.
I don't want to fast forward to it.
Well, we are a week and a day from practice
We are.
day at the Chili Bowl Nationals, and some of the starts that you're going to see here tonight are guys that are expected to compete for the Chili Bowl Nationals Golden Triller as well. We got huge names all throughout the field, including but not limited to your defending champion Emerson Axum. Blake Hahn is here, the most decorated driver in Tulsa Shootout history. Oh yeah, and then the big NASCAR stars Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, and Kyle Larson all
And
here
Ty
today.
Gibbs.
And Ty Gibbs is here.
He'll be, or for the Chili Bowl. I kind of figured we'd see Ty Gibbs at Shootout.
Yeah, well,
Get some laps here because he's run some micro stuff.
He's not racing though.
No.
So today, those 5 that we named above will be on. Yep, they'll be on the clock and trying to pick up a driller of their own. We have a fantastic broadcast crew that has done yeoman's duty all week long here. The biggest morning person of all of us, and that is saying something. Brian Ward, good morning. How'd you sleep, buddy?
I slept fantastic, and I am ready to go for Driller Day here in Tulsa. Guys, I wanted to talk to you about this racetrack. We've mentioned it just about every morning, how much overnight prep they do. That has continued, but one thing that has changed, just to the outside of the racetrack, all new banners have been hung around. We've been seeing those banners get beat up and ripped up all week long. So last night, they tore down what we've seen from Monday through last night. All fresh banners for all the primary sponsors have been hung throughout the entire racetrack. We'll see how long they last with our 40B mains coming up, because I'm sure some right rears are going to be getting up there trying to make some moves tonight. Guys, we got some more crew members to meet up at the top of the ramp. Earl and Chris is up top as well.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Happy Driller Day to all of you folks tuning in here to FloRacing's coverage of the Tulsa Shootout. It's the top of the ramp, and it's probably going to be the most intense of all the days here at the top of the ramp. Obviously, we've gone through heat races. We've gone through qualifiers. This is go time for these folks here behind me in the B features. There's a lot of big names here getting ready to roll out because they're going to have to go not through one B main, but then have to go through an LCQ to get to the big show. So we're going to do a little bit of a pit walk. Earl's back here. We're going to catch up with some drivers, but I'm going to start off here with Steven Snyder Jr. Winged Outlaw was incredible, bud, but you're in a B here in this non-wing car. First off, are you awake? You ready to go put this thing in the show?
Yeah, my dad made me some oatmeal this morning, so he got me ready to on the so just now me, you know, pretty much flat out for these first few races, and then we're in outlaw not
To take a nap. Earl, where are you at, bud? Back here in the garage.
Here, right? Hey, it's going to be named. You're not.
Yeah, only 2 trains ran out of the B mains. That's pretty big. So.
Into an A main event here today. Chris Milner, who else do you got down there?
Josh Marcham over here with Trey Marcham. Okay, gotta know, are you a coffee guy or are you an energy drink guy? How'd you wake up this morning?
Actually, nothing today. I raw dog life right now. So usually, if I can make my own coffee, I'm a cold brew guy. But anytime I can't do any of that, a Red Bull or something like that definitely gets me through the day.
You're one of these early B mains, so what are the thought process as you sit up here? It's a little early to go racing, but I don't think you care.
No, not really. I mean, I'd kind of like to sleep in, but we're still racing, so it's fine. We got one more chance to do what we can. I mean, we start 6 to take 2, and we're second race out, so it's going to be kind of impossible. But still here, going to have best we can. So.
All right, that's Josh Marcham. And Earl, I think you've got a guy who knows a thing or two about winning a driller in this building.
Yeah, I got Chris Carroll here, buddy. Got a couple drillers, right? In a B main. Track is going to be fast here early morning. What's the game plan on going out there?
Game plan is to try and miss everybody else's stuff, see what we can pick up, and hopefully move on to the LCQ. But we'll see. Track's going to be pretty heavy, so going to have to do some moving, and hopefully some people miss, and we can miss them.
Guys, Chris Carroll, a veteran here at the Smiley's Racing Products Tulsa Shootout, powered by NOS Energy Drink. We got cars in staging. It's almost go time here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, guys.
Did you see the old school Montreal Expos starter jacket?
Yeah. I saw that in the shoot the other day, too, and it cranked around.
I also
Expos. How about that?
I just would like Chris Wilner. I am not the only one who doesn't do coffee or energy drinks. We just get up and Well, Josh put it very elegantly.
I was going to say raw dog life. Is that what you do, Chris Moore?
Yeah.
Hey, I do appreciate you. I got you a little taste tester from Starbucks.
Terrible.
You took it like a champ.
Don't ever do that again.
I will not.
You were nice, so I tried to be nice, but I won't anymore. I'll throw it out the window.
What else?
Can we get Earl to do smelling salts today, do you think?
Oh, Earl will do it. Earl.
To find Connor Lee.
listen.
I don't know.
Come on.
You know the best part of that whole thing with Marcham is the fact that he had a Red Bull sponsor pack.
I know, I saw that.
Right, I was like, looking at that, I saw some irony there.
Yeah.
All right, so find the smelling salts. You might need to send some down to the
Come
booth
on,
this
Earl.
morning.
Yeah, Caleb will take some.
I might give it a shot. It's definitely
Give
an
her a
idea.
rip.
So we are stacked up. You see the Ghoul pit cam as we look, as took an extra minute or three to get the rest of the water worked into the surface. We've got some big names coming early, including Christopher Bell. Man, did Bell have a good finish to his night last night with the qualifiers.
Yeah. I had gone to bed, but woke up, saw 6-1. You expect that from Christopher Bell. He did it 7-1 earlier in the night too.
And he was telling us earlier in the night after the 7-1 run that he said, "Hey, I haven't been interviewed all week." Well, you found a couple interviews in the span of an hour.
Changed that and changed
Yeah,
that.
no,
Big
quickly.
hurry. Kyle Larson coming up in B main number 344. Clinton Boyle's the only guy to go 4 for 4 on heat race wins here on the weekends. Already locked into 2 main events. Our broadcast partner will be in 345, and he's bringing Kyle Busch with him. Busch had a good weekend, but definitely looking to have a better driller Saturday than what yesterday provided.
I'm sure that he would love to have a great day, but probably his number one focus is Brexton Busch starting on the pole of junior sprints and also running in the restricted A class as well. I'm sure Kyle's number one focus is Brexton, but when it's his time to get in the race car, he's going to be trying to go forward. But Brexton's also going to be a big story today, as he and Braxton Platt were yesterday.
Braxton feels pretty good about getting a driller, I can tell you that much. We talked a little bit off mic about it, and he is feeling pretty good about the junior sprint main event.
He's also rooting for it to rubber up in the junior
sprints. Yes, he is, quite openly.
Well, taking a look once again, we're just a minute or two from having cars rolling down the raceway and on the track. Want to thank you guys for tuning in with us all week long. We're, I want to say, cresting 50-plus hours of broadcasting here of the Tulsa Shootout over these 4 days. Make it day number 5, all-time record entries, over 1,000 individual drivers amongst those 1,800 cars and parts and cars scrolled into every little nook and cranny of the arena. Although, for some guys, their weekends are over already, and they have figured out how to squirrel the car out of the building and taking her on home at this point in time. So it has lightened up in the pit area a little bit today.
I did see Brian Holbert, who, if you don't know Brian works for the Hahn family here at this event in Chili Bowl now and voice of USAC right here on Flow. But Brian had said his first Tulsa Shootout was 2011, 783 entries. We are at 1,798 entries this year. I think over 1,000 cars in the building is what Brian had counted.
Yep, we have
1,015, I want to say, is where he ended up
we
at.
We have more individual drivers here at this race than we had entries back in Brian's first one. Crazy.
Isn't that crazy to think about? This event has just continued to explode and really no signs of slowing down. The next problem becomes, is they had the Ghoul Motors pit cam up a bit ago that you could see. We're running out of space.
Yeah,
like, we're going to have to pull in trailers out.
Yeah, these rows of trailers are probably going to have to go away if the entry list and the amount of race cars keeps going.
Well, guys, we're going to take a quick time out before we get cars on the track. You're watching live coverage of the 40th Annual Smiley's Racing Products Tulsa Shootout, powered by NOS Energy Drink, live on Flow.
And welcome back, everyone, to Championship Saturday here at the 40th running of the Smiley Racing Products Tulsa Shootout, powered by NOS Energy Drink, live on FloRacing. We got cars on trackside, but we're still going strong here at the top of the ramp. My next guest is going to be Nathan Benson. He's the father of Garrett Benson. And dude, what a very successful week for the Benson family so far coming into today's event. How proud are you of your son, Garrett?
Oh, really proud. You know, we put a lot into this kind of in a short amount of time. We actually weren't going to run this race. We've kind of shifted most of our resources to try to get our sprint car deal going, and so we weren't going to run the shootout. And Tim Engler and Brad Coleman kind of put together engines for us to run, and that was a huge deal, and so we had a lot of work to do at the end to get everything ready. But you know, this deal is so tough. Like, you have to have speed, obviously, but then a lot of things have to go your way to even be able to show the speed that you have. And our wing stuff's been really good. We've won both our heats, won the Outlaw qualifier, A-class qualifier. I felt like we had a good car, but just track conditions and circumstances, we couldn't really move, and so we're still alive in that. But yeah, I'm always proud of Garrett. You know, he works so hard at this, and what people see on the track is just a small portion of what, you know, the effort he puts into it. And yeah, he's rolling off fourth in the Outlaw A main, which is by far his highest starting position in the adult classes, you know, over the last few years. I think this will be his 5th or 6th class feature that he's made, you know, not counting the juniors and restrictors. So he's made 10 or 12 features here over the years, and it's been a lot of fun. You know, we obviously want to win one. You know, I've never won this race. Best I've ever ran was 2nd, and I've started 4th in the Outlaw feature myself, so I know what it feels like to roll down that ramp and have that opportunity. And I just hope the best for him. We're going to go through the car today and just give him the best piece we possibly can. And when you take the green behind Kyle Larson, I guess you got, you know, an opportunity to learn from the best in the business right there too. So it'll be fun just to be a part of it. To win, it's going to be a challenge, but there's no doubt in my mind he can do it.
Now, years past, when you guys were done here on Saturday, we wouldn't see you until the next coming shootout. Luckily, Garrett has a midget ride coming up for the Chili Bowl. You excited for him for that?
Absolutely, yes. That, you know, is also going to be a huge challenge for him just with the limited laps he has. But with the Engler family and their engine program, and they got Donnie Gentry and a bunch of good guys on the wrenches and a lot of knowledge, and our friend Michael Schur with SBS Factory Cane Shocks has come on board and been a part of the program as well. So that gives us kind of a comfort feel as well because of our long relationship with him. And so, yeah, just that deal is just, you know, I don't even know what to say other than I'm honored that they would think of him. You know, like I told Garrett, Tim Engler could have picked 500 people to put in that car. He could have rented the car out like most of the Chili Bowl rides are, you know, but he called us while we were driving down the road to a sprint car race in September and asked my wife and I, with Garrett sitting there, if we would be okay with it first. And it's just, you know, relationships that you build in this industry is more valuable than any money or any circumstance. I mean, it's just the people is what really gives you the chance to show what you can do and makes you want to work hard to be successful for those people. So, yeah, I usually like to sit on my couch and recover from the shootout, but now we're trying to figure out when we're going to be able to get home with this snowstorm and then, you know, take the seat out of the micro, get somewhat rested up, and get back down here next Saturday. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the Chili Bowl. My responsibilities will be limited, so I'm just going to be, you know, hopefully a cheerleader and fan and mud scraper for Garrett. And, you know, I want him to be safe and have fun. And, you know, if we can make the A main on the prelim night, I'd say is probably our initial goal. But we got a fast race car, and it should be exciting.
Big things ahead, guys, for Garrett Benson. By the way, in 2025, he's going to be a rookie with the ASTS Tour, guys.
Thank you, Earl. Hot laps for B feature number 1 for the stock non-wing division, as they will blow off the top layer of grease around the Expo Raceway. And there's a look at the guy starting on the pole, Christopher Bell in the 14.
He's found some speed.
Thomas Koonsman in the 29, your 17 car of Isaiah Garcia. Everybody throttles down and gets ready to file in the line here for stock non-wing B feature number 1. 12 lap B features here at the Tulsa Shootout. It's Christopher Bell and Tommy Koonsman on row number 1, Isaiah Garcia and Tanner Holman row number 2. Darren Brown and Wout Hoffmans in row 3. Ronnie Dawson and Pat Beeler in row 4. Noah Carpenter, Kevin Thomas Jr. in row number 5. Brant Woods and Jace Randolph in row number 6.
12 laps, 2 cars, Caleb. Final row.
Your C-main move-ups, Christian Bruno and Caleb Scarborough. And again, 8 position difference between running first versus second in the LCQ for the first and second place finishers here.
That's pretty substantial.
Very interested to see here in the early going the fight between the outside pole sitter and row 2 inside, and who's able to hunker down, get to the bottom. And you know, if Koonsman can get down there, if I say Isaiah Garcia can kind of beat him to the spot and muscle his way by, you know, and then that kind of goes into what kind of jump are you trying to get on the outside of the front row? Are you trying to get around Christopher Bell and take the lead? Obviously, that's going to be tough. Or you maybe try and lay back and sneak in behind him. All interesting to see, all games that have to be played here in the Tulsa Expo Center, especially early on when you get this notorious hammer down kind of one-lane racetrack until it starts to widen out.
7:24 a.m. back home for Tanner Holm, who is outside row number 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully his body is adjusted to living on Tulsa time at the moment.
I would say so. I mean, he's been here 5 days now. He's a guy that comes back to the Central Time Zone quite a bit to see family. It's usually a day or 2 and you're good to go.
Yeah, we saw B-Walk yesterday, and he seemed to be
he was
in much
more
better shape than he was the first day he got here, and that's coming from Australia.
16-hour, well, from where he was, a 16-hour difference, I believe it is.
You'd know better than we. Lights are out, guys.
That's tough.
B-main number 1.
Here we go. Tulsa Shootout Saturday, Caleb Hart, underway. Well, there's that start you were wondering about, Chris Moore. Pretty darn good.
Christopher Bell washes up the racetrack. Here goes Darren Brown. Darren Brown from 5th. Merry Christmas for Darren Brown. He moves into the runner-up spot, and Christopher Bell's slide might not be done just yet.
Christopher Bell talked about it yesterday, Chris Moore, how that car is kind of a test car. They've gotten better every time, so you wonder, you know, learning a lot right now, and this is not what we expected. Christopher Bell going backwards as Tommy Koonsman Jr. leads lap number 2. How about Darren Brown, the dwarf car ace, into the second spot, and Bell really seems to be struggling here.
Yeah, I don't know that Christopher Bell's going to make an LCQ right now. That race car will not hold the bottom. Don't know if he's struggling with the racetrack or what the case might be, but Bell dropping out the boat anchor here in the early going. KTJ, meanwhile, has launched his way from 10th to 3rd quickly. One thing to see guys up the inside row in a race track like this move up. KTJ started outside row 5. He's to 3rd. Does he have enough in the tank to run down Darren Brown?
He's going to have to get going halfway, 5 down, or almost halfway, 5 down, 7 to go. And KTJ 1.7 seconds back, and Christopher Bell seems to be settling in a little bit, but he's a little bit too late, Chris Moore.
Yeah, it's a lot too late. I'm sure he's really kicking himself for what happened in the opening start. Nobody, though, loving life more than Darren Brown right now. Not only is he second, he's pulling away from KTJ almost 2 seconds, the difference between himself and Kevin Thomas Jr. Meanwhile, Tommy Koonsman, his lead 2.7 seconds, doing exactly what he wanted to do up the outside of row 1.
Run away and hide. And that's what he's doing. He's rolling off of turn number 2 now and can start to see the back of the pack. Not sure if lap traffic will play a role. And Christopher Bell washes up, and there goes KTJ into the infield.
And nobody wants the yellow right now more than Christian Bruno, as you see Tommy Koonsman putting the car a lap down. Christian Bruno came from 13th. He was a C-main transfer. I don't know how often we see transfers go forward the next morning. in the first race. There's Christopher Bell. He's going to pull off. Tommy Koonsman will cruise around to the white flag. Locked in, trying to put himself on the pole of an LCQ.
One thing that surprised me, 5 cars missing the call here in this B main. I did not expect that, but here comes Tommy Koonsman Jr. He'll be in an LCQ, and he's going to take...
Darren Brown?
Darren Brown with it.
Yeah.
4-second win.
Seconds. Tip of the cap to Christian Bruno, though. Granted, scheduled for 13th. We only ended up with 9 starting, but still to come from deep to drive his way to 3rd from a C-main transfer, he gave it a run.
Caution flag would have done him an abundance of good. Koonsman and Brown advance into the last chance qualifier, which comes in the afternoon portion of our program. 40 B mains to start the day. 1 down, 39 to go, guys.
You know, we move
products
real quick. We move quickly between races, but if one of our guys at the top of the ramp can just kind of get a reaction from Darren Brown, even if they just see it, because I got to imagine he figured starting 5th with Christopher Bell and Tommy Koonsman on the front row, he had no shot.
Max Crabtree in the 24M and Steven Snyder in the 21S make up the front row. Cameron Key, 21J, Chance Hole, 17X, row 2. Alec Quiggle, 23A, Josh Marcham, 8, row 3. Row 4, Cole Tinsley, 00C, and 05 of Chris Carroll. Row 5 going to be Brody Graham in the 8B and McIntyre Jr. in the 9M. And row 6, Darius Myers in the 119, I believe it was. Scotty Milan, 97M, Mickey Bullock, 5E. And there's Darren Brown getting out.
High five from the crew.
K-Man's happy.
K-Man's always happy.
Yeah, he is. Likes to see his dwarf car dice do well.
You know, Blake, you mentioned surprised to see 5 guys not answering the call. I think one of the things to think about is we have guys running the same car in multiple divisions.
Saving cars.
And when you know you're locked in to a starting spot in one of them, you might say, we'll skip this. Chris Wilner is at the top of the ramp with another K1 Race Gear interview. Chris.
Good morning, Chris. Here with Tommy Koonsman Jr. And I tell you what, good morning to you. First race out of the gate, and it was from the outside of the front row. That's huge when you look at where you're going to start in the LCQ, but describe your thought process there in the opening jump, especially with Christopher on the inside.
Yeah, wasn't sure. Was just hoping that my lane was running a little bit more there off the start to get a better jump, and you know, I knew we had to get to the bottom, and it was just going to be single file. So, and I knew between first and second was, you know, starting first in the LCQ or starting 9th. So that's huge there.
All right, that's Tommy Koonsman Jr. A good starting spot, like you mentioned, the LCQ. Guys, this track juiced up. Tanner Holmes' car rolled by, couldn't even read the name on the visor, couldn't even see the sponsor. Caked in clay. This racetrack certainly got a lot of moisture in it.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that. Big fresh hat, white, and pelted immediately.
It's not fresh anymore.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're in the infield, you kind of expect it.
I wouldn't. In the infield sometimes, though, like, I feel like that usually shoots out.
Right.
I mean, Nate Hartman with a great shot there.
You wonder, too, if maybe one of the guys coming into the infield or Christopher Bell pulling off, maybe. We will see here B feature number 2. We got more than 9 out for this one.
We do.
All these guys answered the alarm.
I think, yeah, maybe some guys in B feature 1 just woke up and realized they're a little late. I think there were 13. I think we're missing 1. We'll see as we get going here. But our front row is intact. Max Crabtree, Steven Snyder Jr. Crabtree won a qualifier last night.
A little shot to the shorts there for Steven Snyder Jr. going into turn 3 on lap 1, but he'll lead the opening stanza.
Another one from the outside of the front row, and another pole sitter losing a spot. Josh Marcham opened up saying it was going to be impossible.
I got no chance.
Here he is, quickly up into the runner-up spot. Nothing's impossible if you believe in yourself, Blake.
You're darn right. Josh Marcham. Well, did he believe in himself?
No. Just goes to show that statement's a crock of hooey.
Go away.
Oh, your pole sitter Crabtree gets wide there. He's going to lose 3rd and 4th. Chris Carroll and Chance Hull are both going to race their way by. Crabtree won his stock non-wing qualifier last night. Comes up just short of locking in, and now looks like he's going to struggle to make an LCQ now.
Yeah, that's got to be a little bit of a disappointment there. You think, I mean, most of the time you think you win the qualifier, you're in pretty darn good shape, and now he's fighting for his life here in the last chance qualifier. Steven Snyder Jr. doing exactly what we expect Steven Snyder Jr. to do, and that's run away from things. But should we expect Christopher Bell to do that as well? And That definitely did not happen.
Yeah.
There's a number of drivers that are just a little too snug in the early going. Actually saw it here in this one as Cameron Key got into turn number 1 of the initial start. That car just did not rotate. Very similar to Bell, where he got into the first quarter and it just plowed up the racetrack. So.
Well, Chris Wilmer said it, the guys coming up the ramp, I mean, their cars are caked in mud, which we haven't really seen much at all this week, even in the early going, this much mud. So definitely a little bit more moisture with all the big races we got later.
This is also nose on Josh Marcham's car. You can't even read it.
This is also stock non-wing, so if the track conditions surprised these guys, nothing they can do in cockpit to make their cars better on the ramp or within the first couple of laps of the race.
Good call, Caleb Hart.
And I can't imagine if you're one of those race cars out there with no power steering being plowing tight on a racetrack like this. Up front, Josh Marcham trying to chase down Steven Snyder Jr. Guys, not so bold prediction. I think Steven Snyder's walking out of here with a driller today. He's got a bad, fast race car, and he's going to lock in to the outside pole of an LCQ in stock non-wing. Josh Marcham, the impossible was possible. He gets it done. Marcham goes 5th to 2nd to qualify. Chris Carroll comes up 1 spot short. Chance Hull and Alec Quiggle round out the top 5. But Steven Snyder Jr. and Josh Marcham, the 2 guys that will march along to an LCQ.
And if you thought that these B mains and qualifiers and stuff were fun, look at the talent that we're already piling into an LCQ.
LCQ talent at the Tulsa Shootout, almost similar to maybe BC Main Chili Bowl kind of thing. You're like, this is a feature.
Great. Cool. Dason Pursley and Landon Henry are on the front row of this. Derek Hagar and Sheldon Creed. Colby Sokol and Christopher Townsend. Kyle Hooper and Logan Julian. Robbie Smith and Garrett Smith. Brennan Crouch and Brody McLaughlin, your 12. Up front with one more row. Tucking in behind them to make a 14-car 12-lap B main. It's Jeffrey Pahuli and Brecken Race.
So I'll leave here and I'll say I think one of the drivers that has impressed me the most this week is Landon Henry. And did he make the call? I don't know if Landon made the call or not, as I say that. He's in pretty good shape in some other classes, though. That might be back to what you said earlier, Caleb, bigger picture.
Yeah. Live to fight another day, depending on where you are.
He's driving for the Starnes family out of Texas.
Sheldon Creed's had a really good week. He's impressed quite a bit. It is Creed and Pursley out to the early advantage here.
We are 3 for 3 now on the outside of the front row, dashing out to the lead. First Koonsman, then Snyder, now Creed, and we got one around. Is that Kyle Hooper?
Well, it's not like you can read the nose number.
Yeah.
Yes, Kyle Hooper, the one around.
Caleb Hart, but it's...
Here you guys thought I was sleepy. Sheesh.
He looked like he was in hibernation mode when we got to the track this morning. Here's a replay brought to you by iBox Springs, and oh boy.
You know, when you're more talented than the rest of us, you just have the ability to flip
turn
the
it
switch.
on. Brian Ward.
I was just going to let you know, I believe that's actually the 14P of Pahuli deep in the field that got up over that left rear.
Yeah. I think it was Hooper and Pahuli, though, that were together, and now, hey, Brian, take that. We were just a little early. Earl Hoon, you're at the top of the ramp with a Pennsylvania native. Well,
yes, sir. Winner of
racer.
B main number 2, Steven Snyder Jr. Dude, with how the track is right now, how important is it to get a good jump on the starts?
That's pretty much that's it. You know, also I was surprised Max didn't stay up in the top 2 there. You know, I know he's got a fast piece and whatnot, but no, I knew that was everything, and then kind of I just set it on kind of cruise control and just tried to did my own race and hit my own laps. So. You know, we got an outlaw non-wing coming up, so hopefully the track widens out. You know, I'm sure it will. They got a lot of moisture in it, so I got a lot of hope for them.
Guys, you even said it, Chris Moore. I got a feeling this is the year that Steven Snyder Jr. walks out of this building with a golden driller.
Northeast guys throwing down early in the prediction day.
Oh.
Well, you know who I'm picking in stock non-wing.
Yeah,
you can write that check right now.
Fair.
Yeah. He's an Anthony Perego guy till he dies.
Green flag is out. Sheldon Creed. You know, we talk about the NASCAR stars, NASCAR Xfinity guys, Sheldon Creed here, and you said it, Caleb. He's had a really good shootout thus far and trying to lock into a 3rd starting spot in an LCQ as you get a look further back here. Cars trying to advance their way through the field.
Derek Hagar.
Yep.
the USCS Sprint Car Champion in his day.
Pretty good parts guy. Has a good shock business, now doing wings.
An all-around nice guy. I like Derek.
Been a Tulsa regular for many, many years.
Yep.
More so on the Chili Bowl end, but put a couple of shootouts together.
Won an all-star race in our last season. That was cool to see Derek get an all-star win. Big 410 win. Is Jason Persley, speaking of 410s, oh boy, we got a big one upside down right in front of us, fellas. I didn't catch the number. It was chrome, like a gold leaf.
Threw the steering wheel out already.
Yeah, Derek did have chrome numbers.
That's the whammy if I've ever seen it, if it was him.
And yep, Derek Hagar.
Oops.
I apologize, Derek.
That was all you guys. I was not a part of that.
No whammy, no whammy. We got whammy.
And he threw the steering wheel out.
Ron Weger puts his thumbs up. That's good.
You know, that camp, that crew has had a pretty good week. They've come in with better expectations than usual, with a bunch of guys that haven't spent a lot of time in micro. Non-wing sprint car guy and KTJ, and a couple of wing sprint car guys and Derek Hagar and Aiden Gatewood, and they've shown out pretty well. Unfortunately, not ending well for Hagar here in this stock non-wing. The replay, ooh, big bike and barrel roll for Hagar here on the iBox Springs replay.
Sometimes riding the bike will get you.
Yeah, good to see Derek Hagar climbing out under his own power. He seemed a little slow, but he getting unstrapped and talking with Ron and the guys down there. The ASCS safety crew on the scene as well. Nutrient Ag Services on Derek's suit there. They're big partners in a lot of race teams, especially kind of down in that Arkansas, Memphis area where Derek races. Obviously,
most notable across the scene, across the national scene, with one Jonathan Davenport.
Jonathan Davenport.
Got to spend a little bit of time talking to some guys from Nutrient Ag Solutions at the Topless 100 this year. Got to do that for Flo, and they're a big sponsor. Again, being in Arkansas, down in Batesville, so they're a big partner of that race. So we got to go up there and talk to some of them, and they had a great big tent up, open bar. I was upset I was working, man. I could have went up there and hung out at the top of the tent. Batesville's a really cool place, hot as can be.
Yeah,
but the facility's pretty cool.
Very familiar with those guys. I'm from Iowa, so
yeah, it's true.
Brian Ward.
Yeah, I've got Derek here. Derek, you looked a little bit tender, but when you stood up, I saw all the crew guys with a laugh. What'd you say to get them laughing?
Man, that hurt. I got in the corner good. Motor kind of started stumbling a little bit when I picked the throttle up, and it got me tight. And I thought I could ride it out, and then the left rear dug in, and that's why I don't like running non-wing, man. I'm getting too old for this shit. It's popped my back, but hopefully I'll be all right. Not the way I wanted to get on TV, but want to say hi to my wife, my kids back home, my mom and dad. Thanks to BJ Gatewood for giving me a good car. I mean, we made the qualifier in 3 classes with the same car. So Gatewood engines, I mean, he built a heck of a motor, and it started flubbering a little bit right there, and it got me tight, biked up, and there wasn't no saving it.
All right, well, I'm sure your family's happy to see you up and around.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, make sure he knows that Caleb and Blake were talking good about him, so he made TV. He didn't have to do that to make TV.
Chris Moore wanted me to tell you that Blake Anderson and Caleb Hart were talking good about you, so you didn't have to do that to get on TV.
Well, you know, it's I always got excitement when I come to Tulsa, whether I'm getting shot or on TV, so we'll be back for Chili Bowl and AG Range's car, Christian Poe, and have another good run at it.
All right, guys, back screen.
There is an epic story about
a great story there.
Derek Hagar catching some hot lead in a local establishment.
Yes.
Okay, back to B3.
Down the back straightaway, Creed and Persley pulling away. Townsend 3, Julian, and Sokol top 5 at the moment. Robbie Smith trying to pick up as Chris Townsend. His day looks to be ending a little bit early. I'm sorry, that was Julian who pulled off.
Logan Julian. Bumper to bumper IRA sprint car regular. Big year on deck for him.
Oh, and that is one of your lead
There's
too.
Mason.
So Persley out. Now Sokol. Hello, gift horse.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're handing out some late Christmas gifts, maybe New Year's presents here in the early going.
Or
this
early
morning.
Christmas.
It was a very late Hanukkah this year. We're done. Checkered flag. Colby Sokol thank you very much. I'll take second. He still lives to fight.
Attrition, baby. You know, I was going to say you wonder maybe a little bit about overheating, but with a couple of yellows in that, I don't even know that would necessarily be the case. Just going to look there at the results of B3. Sheldon Creed continues his strong Tulsa Shootout. And we mentioned it, the gift, Colby Sokol finding his way in, Robbie Smith, Christopher Townsend, and Garrett Smith all on the outside looking in there in B feature number 3.
Blake, I'm supposed to tell you hi.
Hello.
You saw that, right?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
I've done my job.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello. Hello, Caleb. Oh, you're just excited to say hi from only been around you the last 2 hours. He's a little late. Hello to you too, Caleb.
Somebody
Hart.
said, tell Blake I said hi.
Oh, all right. You did your job. Anton Hernandez on the front row, and Brayton James in row 2. Cameron Paul, 12Z, Eric Patello, 2E in row 2. Case Piper in the 25C, Hayden Wise in the 94 in row 3. Cale Drake, 14K, Mike Grunner in 4X, row 4. Row 5, 33 and Jet Dunley, 7S Cannon Posey. Row 6 is Hank Soares in the 22H and Tyler Courtney, 14M. Row 7, C main transfers, Waylon Phillips, 671, and Nathan Ward, 95W.
Most everybody wakes up and says, let's go play race car this morning.
Nick in the morning's up too.
Nick at night, Nick in the morning.
Nick all the time. Here we go, Caleb Hart.
Oh, let's gun through. It's our 4th B main here in the Joe's Racing Products stock non-wing division. Anton Hernandez down in the bottom, pushes up racetrack, trying to force Brayton Jones higher up as well, but Jones going to bring the car down, and he'll take the lead on lap number 1. Hernandez is 2nd. Eric Patello of California sits 3rd. Cameron Paul and Case Piper rounding out your top 5 with 11. Make it 10 laps to go. As Jones crosses the flag stand.
We are 4 for 4 now for the outside of the front row, at least jumping out to the early lead. 3 for 3 on the outside of the front row, getting the win. Jones trying to continue that trend as well, but the battle is on here for the runner-up spot. Eric Patello is not letting Anton Hernandez run away to hide. We've seen that in most of the B-main so far. Patello, though, trying to change that as he pressures Hernandez. Cameron Paul's right there as well.
Track still very, very fast. Stock non-wing laps in the mid-11 second range, but it's starting to widen out. We're starting to develop a little bit of a second line there, Chris Moore, about a line and a half off the bottom, and you can see Eric Patello really working the bottom as Anton Hernandez uses that line just about half the line up.
Yeah, we saw Cameron Paul try to sneak up there as well. Oh, Patello got a nose underneath it, and we got one up and over right here in front of us.
Cale Drake, I believe.
Looks like. Yeah. Yeah, the 14 of Cale Drake, 14 of Tyler Courtney did not answer the call. So Cale Drake and iBox Springs instant replay. There you see already in the process of it. That was a hard rollover right there.
That was.
As is right now, like one mistake, and a mistake of anything more than a small size may put you in one of those situations where you're barrel rolling, right? That there is room, your room for error is almost nil.
Yeah, similar to what we saw with Derek Hagar. Got up on the bike and over he went. Well, we've got a minute. Chris Wilner has Sheldon Creed up there. K1 Race Gear interview.
I certainly do, and you guys mentioned it. It's been a pretty good Tulsa Shootout for Sheldon Creed. You told me, though, before this race, you're like, man, I'm kind of over it. Are you over it now? I mean, you're going to start 3rd in LCQ.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not over it now, right? I have a way better shot at making the main, so I don't know. You guys know it. It's just a long week. We've been in here since Saturday night, and I feel like my week's been going good, but then you turn around, then you have Bs, and then LCQs, and then mains. So, yeah, I mean, it's been going, I guess, pretty good. I want to thank Alexander Ford, Pizza World, San Diego Laser Cutting for getting me here, and yeah, we'll see what we have. I think I'm in this next 347 or whatever Outlaw non-wing, and then, yeah, see what we have for LCQs.
With the fact it's so close back-to-back, what did you learn about this racetrack? Obviously, they threw a ton of moisture in it, but you think it's going to widen out a little bit?
I hope so. I mean, I was pretty much wide open right there, so, I mean, I know it will widen out, but hopefully it does before 347.
All right, Sheldon Creed moving on in stock non-wing. Brian Ward down in the infield.
Yeah, I've got Cale Drake here. Pretty vicious rollover there. Kind of biked up, looked like you were going to save it. What'd you feel?
Yeah, just giving it all we got, trying to fight for a transfer spot. Car was a little snug and track's super gripped up right now, but super thankful for my safety gear doing its job and keeping me safe. And huge thanks to the Factory 14 team and the Driven Midwest crew for making this all possible.
All right, Cale Drake going up the ramp.
I thought we were going to go yellow there before we went green, Chris Moore. They were playing bumper tag coming to the green flag as things starting to sort out, but this track's still lightning fast.
Yeah, well, you heard Cale Drake say it. He was a little snug, kind of in the theme of the morning. Everybody trying to work through a tight race car.
And Caleb, I think, hit it best earlier. Like these stock cars in the stock class, no adjustment. So you got what you got.
Yeah, and you got to work through it. And again, as I said, a tight race car. And if you're one of those guys out there with no power steering, you're getting your workout here first thing in the morning. If you took a protein shake before this, you're probably getting some pretty good gains. As we see Botello trying to gain on Hernandez, entered high. Hernandez does a good job keeping it tucked to the bottom to keep Botello underneath. Behind him, we will see. Oh, Botello nearly gets turned into the infield.
That opens the door for Cameron Paul up on the high side, but Botello works out the bottom. As you mentioned, no power steering. You got no power steering right now. You better have forearms like Rick Ferkel.
Tough break for Eric Botello. Looked there for a moment like he was going to have a real shot to get in. Now back to fourth. Braden Jones, meanwhile, has always looked like he was going to get in. He will do so. He wins B feature number 4 and one around. That's Cameron Paul, who was third. Cameron Paul goes around.
They were bumping and banging out there and getting physical.
You know, it's tough when a racetrack's like this. I mean, you got to be physical if you're going to, you know, and you get desperate running that close to a transfer spot.
So let's take a look at the Ibach Springs replay, and then I want to remind you of something that Clinton said earlier on in the week with regards to power steering versus manual steering. Taking a look at it, yes, there might be some guys who are having an easier time with this via power steering, but you have better feel out of manual steering. And on a track like this that's very unforgiving, possible that you actually would want manual in some regards just to give you a better, more precise steer getting into the corner when your margin of error is so small.
I can tell you, and we heard it in his interview, Anthony Perego wants power steering.
Fair. KJ Snow and Blaine Bunton, Jake Andriotti and Tylen Trammell, Chris Cochran, Ryan Mueller, Cole Schroeder, John Antonino, Garrett Benson, Austin Torgerson, Trey Schleicher, Trevor Yatch, your first 12, 13 and 14, Blake Battles and Cole Robinson.
What do we think? Outside of the front row here, get another one, or KJ Snow from the pole win the race into turn 1?
Eventually, that low groove is gonna get one.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
at some point,
I don't know if it's right here, but eventually.
Hernandez was close. Hernandez almost got to the lead, and Braden Jones kind of got a good run there off that lower middle groove of 1 and 2 and was able to shoot out in front.
So keep an eye on what KJ is going to do through 3 and 4 here. And you look at the way that 1 is shaping right now, if he is going to win through 1 and 2, don't be shocked if he starts pushing Bunton up the track coming out of 4 and trying to get him to be right on the ragged edge of that run-in groove by making the 24 car real wide off the bottom. Up top we go to Earl Hoon.
Yeah, guys, got Braden Jones here with me, and Jonesy, let me tell you, the qualifier didn't go exactly how you wanted it to go yesterday, which landed you here in the B main. Now you're in the LCQ. Just how stressful is it here on a Saturday morning at Tulsa Expo Raceway?
Yeah, it's stressful. We're just thankful we made it to the final day because, you know, a lot of people had to roll out yesterday. You know, our car's been good all week, especially in the non-wing program. So hopefully we can keep it up going in the LCQ. We've got a good starting spot, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe we can, you don't know, we might make it, we might not. You never know what's going to happen, but we'll see how it goes.
Braden Jones, guys, winner of B main number 4.
Well, KJ Snow won the race into turn 1, guys.
It's about time. You had to figure if somebody was going to do it, get a few races in, KJ was going to make it happen. He's been really good this week.
Give second to Jake Andriotti for now. Bunton will go into chase mode with Trammell and Cochran currently in the top 5. Bunton finding some speed back up to the rear tail tank on Andriotti. Only a car length separates him in the battle for the transfer spot. 9 laps left here in this B feature.
Jake Andreotti trying to hang on to that second and final transfer spot, but Blaine Button's right there knocking at the back door, and they're both closing in on KJ Snow. Really expected KJ Snow to run away, Chris Moore.
Yeah, I thought KJ was going to run away to hide. Instead, Jake Andreotti is locked in on that back bumper, and he's brought Blaine Button with him. The top three are all right together. Good battle on the right side of your screen as well. That's fourth and fifth. Tylen Trammell and Chris Cochran, and Button pulls out.
Button broke coming off of corner number 4. That allows Snow and Andreotti have some breathing room in between them and Tylen Trammell. Blake Battles, by the way, from the C main up to 5th. Going to need a caution flag or a little bit of help to keep his roll going.
Yeah, suddenly, though, Jake Andreotti, though, the pressure was on. Now he's got a second and a half. Back to this battle for third between Tylen Trammell and Chris Cochran. Cochran continuing to try and work on Trammell for the third spot. He's got a good run here in a 1 and 2. Jumps the berm a little bit, sends Trammell up the racetrack, but what do we say? You bring your friends with you. Chris Cochran will grab that third spot, but now needs help from a yellow.
Yeah, laps winding down, 9 down and 3 to go, and KJ Snow has company from Jake Andreotti, but you got to figure Jake sees the bigger picture here, just kind of settle in. And
there's big picture, and then there's 8 spots of starting position in the LCQ.
It's just going to get to that. If like you see the bigger picture, or do you say, hey, I can bump up 4 rows here, but man, the track just not quite wide enough for the line he's running to make something go.
He's going to try and enter a little wider in a 1 and 2. KJ, though, is just parking it on the bottom. Will not give an inch of an opening for Andreotti to find a way by. Andreotti tries to sneak by at the bottom side. Look at how much Chris Cochran closed. He was over 2 seconds back when he got to third. Ended up 0.8 of a second back. Comes up just shy. A great run for Chris Cochran. Same for Blake Battles as well, as you mentioned, Caleb, from the C feature up to 5th, but they'll all come up short. KJ Snow and Jake Andreotti. Chris Wilner, you got something at the top of the ramp.
Yeah, guys, just a couple of updates here as we work through these B mains. I got a message from Cannon Posey's mom. He said he was a scratch again in all 4 of his B mains here, so we will not see Cannon the rest of the day. They said he had a headache this morning. He still has a busted lip and some other bumps and scrapes, and she would rather him healed up. So Cannon is here. Talked to him a little bit. He's in good spirits, which he was racing, but wanted to make sure we gave a shout out to Jim Radney, Grayson Springer's family, and their team for offering him a car to run later today. But unfortunately, Cannon is going to be a scratch for the rest of the event. Also, you guys noted Stason Pursley in that previous B main pulled out. Chain popped off, so his run in this class ends as well.
That's a bummer for Cannon Posey.
Cannon was there was another one of the young guns that just left it. Super impressed with.
Totally understandable, the right decision by the family, but as race fans.
Mom being a good mom there.
Yeah.
Bigger picture, and I think that when you look at the broad scope of things for Cannon Posey, he's got a very, very bright future ahead of him inside a race car.
Absolutely. As you get a look here at the lineup for B6, as we are yellow, that was the 3X of Danny Bukafuska. You see they're starting 9th, turn sideways on the front straightaway. Kyle Larson and Mason Doherty on the front row, Chase McCullough and Tyler Edwards. Then Joe B. Miller and Neil Allison in row 3, Mac Leopard, Reese Shelton. Row 5, the aforementioned Bukafuska and Sam Coleman. Trey Erdman and Curtis Jones in row number 6, and your C feature transfers, Ryan Franzen and TJ Smith. The yellow for Bukafuska going to shake things up here a little bit to that lineup as we get set to take the initial green flag, get our opening laps in. Kyle Larson on the pole here of this B main number 6. 3 more to go here in stock non-wing, including this one. And Bukafuska's going off on the hook. He's got a couple more B mains, I believe, coming up later as well, so hopefully that's nothing too serious for the 3X machine, the Rockaway Rocket, they call him back home. So Bukafuska will get towed off, and we will see if he returns a little bit later.
The Rockaway Rocket.
Yeah.
There's already a Royersford Rocket out there.
And a Rockland Rocket.
A lot of rockets.
A lot of rockets. And then there was Jesse Hockett.
There is still Roger Crockett.
And there is, exactly. Roger's here. Saw him yesterday. Oh boy, they're getting rowdy out there. Track's getting a little bit wider, and guys are getting a little antsier, that's for sure.
Kyle Larson out front trying to do what we've been looking for from pole sitters, run away to hide. Mason Doherty, the one on the bubble. Neil Allison trying to pressure him for second and third. And again, we haven't mentioned it yet. You're watching at home, the ticker up there at the top. The 2 cars with the squares around their running position, those are the 2 cars that transfer to LCQs. Everybody else on the chase is going to look at Young Money out in front of this one. Almost a second now back to Mason Doherty.
Kyle Larson just makes it look easy, doesn't he?
I think it probably is for him at this point.
I mean, at the same time, look how much steering wheel input he's having to use right now. This isn't easy for any of these guys. Just your natural talent level on Kyle certainly changes the degree of difficulty.
Up to a 1.2 second advantage for him as you look here further back, battle for 5th. That is Tyler Edwards, Mac Leopard, and Joe B. Miller. All 5th, 6th, and 7th trying to make their way forward here. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on your screen. Doherty, Allison, and Chase Picola. And still Kyle Larson out in front. 4 laps to go. 1.7 seconds the difference. Continuing to open it up little by little back to Mason Doherty.
Yeah, you got Kyle settling in a little bit. He has run the best lap of the race by about 2/10 on anybody. He's pushed the lead to 2 seconds there. Laps winding down for Young Money. Pair to go.
Winding down for Mason Doherty as well. And we see Neil Allison starting to lose touch with the back bumper of the 98D. 0.6 of a second back to Mason Doherty. Allison and Spicola both on the outside looking in. Mason Doherty, though, been smooth and steady watching the 83K scoot away from him a little bit, but he's also done the same. Allison as Larson works into 3 and 4 for the final time.
There it is. Checkered flag flash for Young Money. He's in the LCQ, and he's going to bring Mason Doherty with him. Larson with the win by 2.481 seconds. Neil Allison, Chase Spicola, Mac Leonard, Tyler Edwards, Joe B. Miller, TJ Smith, Trey Erdman, Ryan Franson, Sam Coleman, and Reese Shelton. There, Tulsa Shootout, the stock non-wing division comes to a close. Chris Wilner, you're at the top of the ramp.
Well, it wasn't too long ago that KJ Snow locked into all 4 features. Today, you're going to have your work cut out for you. You've got 2 more Bs after you just walked through this one. Potentially 11 races today. Jeets or Wheaties this morning?
Yeah, you have to on days like this, right? You know, so hopefully we can kind of go back to back with making all 4. That'd be fun, but obviously the ultimate goal is winning the driller, but we're going to enjoy the process and move on to the next B main and go from there.
I know you don't like to be in this position, you'd rather be locked in, but how much benefit is the extra track time today?
Oh, it's huge. I'm honestly, in each B, I'm going to be trying something different, try to learn, you know, and hopefully, you know, get better for the Winged Outlaw main. I think I'm starting 8th in that one, so hopefully we can learn from these B mains and apply it to the wing car.
All right, best of luck. KJ Snow got a lot of racing still to come here today. Also did a nice job in the booth for us on Flow earlier this week.
K1 Race Gear interview with Chris Wilner up at the top of the ramp as you get a look at the Red End Supply Speed Shot and your lineup for the 7th B feature in stock non-wing. Saunders and Smith, Malden and Boyles, Marcham and Bayer, Bush and Ray, Ridenour, Kuntz, Barker, and Bridgman make up the first 12. Back row, Jace Park and Trey Zorn with their work cut out for them. Well, we know Clinton reads a racetrack pretty darn well. He's outside row number 1, and he's going to battle for a transfer spot.
Start certainly wasn't a little bit odd. He got a little out of shape there as he's battling the top spot, but Austin Saunders will lead lap 1.
Austin Saunders, guy we saw travel all the way out to Skagit Speedway and contest some races with us in his sprint car. That man did a lot of traveling in 2024.
El Paso, Texas.
Now here in a micro, gets a love tap from Boyles coming off of turn number 2. Boyles with a lane underneath Saunders. Can't quite get the car to hook up and go. And we'll get a stoppage. 2 cars coming to a stop.
You know, he made a lasting impression at Skagit when John Hager knew who he was. Like John was talking about, the guy from El Paso, Texas.
Yeah. Caden Barker, one of the 2 cars involved here. And I want to say that's Brody Bridgman.
Correct.
The other.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, we took a look at the spin, and now Earl Hoon. Who are you talking to up there, big guy?
Yeah, guys, I got Young Money Kyle Larson here with me, buddy, and you're a veteran of this building, right? Just especially the Tulsa Shootout. How humbling can this building make you as a driver?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had some moments in here where I've been humbled, I guess, but
No, it's really cool. It's been like 14 or 15 years since I've been to the shootout, so I've had a lot of fun this week. It's really cool to be in a car every single day. I think the Chili Bowl is a much longer feeling week than the shootout actually is, so that's been a bit surprising to me this week. But yeah, thanks to CBI for prepping a lot of race cars for us all to run, and yeah, enjoying it. So you locked into 3 out of the 4, and now we're off to a decent start here in stock non-wing. So try to make it in the feature in that, and be in all 4 would be pretty cool.
Kyle Larson, guys, moving on here on Championship Saturday.
Well, we've got a couple of laps complete, 3 officially, with 9 to go. Austin Saunders and Clinton Boyles are 1 and 2. Lucas Malden and Trey Marsham 3 and 4. Kyle Busch is up to 5th with Kevin Bayer 6th. Okay, Blake, look at the powder keg that is 456.
Yeah,
just given past history, if that racing gets physical, that could be a lot of fun.
It could be potentially fun at the top of the ramp, too. Oh, Clinton, you got a little pressure because Lucas Malden's right there.
Got away from him off the second corner. Malden with a good restart. Feels like Clinton's probably going to throw a gear change at that.
Yeah.
He does. It's not
taking off.
Yeah, it's not launching super great.
Yep.
So he's got to be hoping for this race to stay green the rest of the way.
Oh boy.
That's not good.
Kevin Bayer there, Jace Park, and I didn't see who added to the gravity check count. iBox Springs replay coming your way, Caleb Hart.
All right, coming out of the corner, and let's see the guilty party. In and through is chain reaction. Bayer got into Kuntz.
Dugan Ridenauer, they got upside down. Looked like maybe 17. Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, Kuntz just got a little bit sideways.
That's all it really takes. Ridenauer, the third car involved in that mess. Brian, you're on the scene, and some sleepy race car drivers watching their stuff get hauled off.
Yeah, climbing out, frustrated here. The front end of that 17 is all tore up. Taking a look at Parks 81 here, and actually everything looks pretty decent.
It's climbing back in.
It's one that doesn't have to go on the hook. I'm sure he's going to take it over to the work area and just take the push. We'll have to get the hook on the front of Ridenauer's 17 car, and I'll try and get a word in with him once we get on the side-by-side.
Hey, we got a thumbs up from Jace Park.
Jace Park had a big year, running for Johnny Herrera. Chris Wilner at the top of the ramp.
Yeah, as you guys can now see on your screen, Danny Buckafuska's got his car up on the stand, and they're actually looking at the gear. I just asked him what was going on. As he was rolling in his staging, the bolts were stripped out of the carrier here on the gear. It's the same gear, but they had to make a quick change to get the chain off, get it reapplied on there. The bolts were stripped. So I know Caleb can probably get a better look at it, but they noticed it rolling the staging, so they're working on now getting it re-put on the race car.
Yep, and as they're working on that there, like they've got most of that good to go. Just swap out a few bolts and should be all right. A lot of sprocket and gear technology has popped to the point where it's a lot easier to work on at this point. Brian, you're riding on the back with Mr. Ridenauer.
I am riding with Ridenauer. Kind of get caught up in that one and nowhere to go. Tell me about what you felt.
It's fast track. Everything happens pretty quick. Just one of those things.
Seem to have a positive attitude. Did we have you? Were we see any more this week? Are we going to see any more today?
No, that's it.
Ridenauer is done, guys.
Well, Lucas Malden does not come up to speed. So he loses a bunch of spots. That puts Marcham into third with 5 laps left to go. Make it 4. Levi Kuntz. Oh, and that was Marcham who just expired.
Say that definitely.
Somebody's motor just went explodey the clown, and Kuntz now up into position number 3.
You can hear that thing high rev.
Austin Saunders out in front of this one. He's just hoping that everybody can keep it going. We stay green. He's gotten away from Boyles a little bit. Kyle Busch, meanwhile, he's rooting for a yellow. He's gotten himself to third now, avoiding some of the chaos in that third spot. And at one 1.2 seconds behind Clinton Boyles. They ran about the same lap time the last time around. That's not going to be good enough, though, as they come to the white flag.
Boyles looking to go to the LCQ. Austin Saunders about to punch his ticket as well. Nice race, Austin Saunders. He will continue his Tulsa Shootout, as will Clinton Boyles in the stock non-weight.
Staying alive.
You guys going to sing that?
I have to see that.
It's too early.
If I have to see that John Travolta Santa commercial one more time. Yeah, Chris. Wow. Strengthen that mic. Come on, man.
Maybe it's just me.
Guys, you hear that hum?
Yeah.
That is from this 14 car that lost the back half of the header. It came apart at the collector here. Just broke off right there in front of the motor, came disconnected. So now he shuts it down, and they will pick that up with the pliers and carry it up.
We've got a K1 Race Gear interview to follow that up with Chris Wilner.
Before we get to that interview, Caleb, do want to remind the folks at home that the lineup for the LCQ not necessarily going to go in order by heat race winners. So, for instance, your first B winner is not going to necessarily start on the pole the first LCQ. That's actually going to go in lineup order by combined heat and qualifier points from yesterday and the day before. So, may not guarantee you're going to get a 1 through 8 start in the LCQ if you win either of these 8 B mains, but not necessarily going to be in that order. So, do want to remind the folks at home on that. Thank you to Brandon Rose, by the way, sent me a little DM here as he watches our broadcast this morning.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Well, final B main for the stock non-wing guys. 8 down, 32 to go. After this one, Trevor Klein and Cullen Hutchinson, Jet Yantis and Connor Gross, Brock Barrett, Justice Sokol, Jason Tyre, RTJ, Blake Parmalee, Jacob Johnston, Nicholas Skias, and Kason Zorn. With 2 more to join them, Cruz Dickerson and Gunnar Pio. E to D to C into the back of the B. So Pio is our last soup eater left, with the exception of RTJ in A-Class Wing.
Skid steer coming out here. We saw this yesterday morning, I believe it was.
Help keep the track wide.
Yeah, scraping up a little bit.
Did you strengthen that mic up?
I did.
Good job.
We did some push-ups together, and we're good now.
Saturday is Arms Day.
For who?
You.
All right. And it's microphone day, apparently.
Your arms need to be swole, boy. If you're going to keep continuing to claim you're the best golfer of the Flow crew,
I am.
I want to see your arms be swole.
I am. There's not a doubt.
All right, we need to go to Chris Wilner. Chris.
Yeah, and I'm here with Austin Saunders. Won that one from the pole in a stacked B main like we've seen. How important is it to just get out and run away? Because there were some drivers coming up from behind looking to challenge.
Yeah, I was definitely looking at the list before we went out. We knew we had to. We were starting the pole. We had to win that. We're locked into the A-Class feature, so we start 6th there. So we were debating even running this, but we're like, well, we started the pole. It's a hammer down track. We should be able to walk away with it. So huge thanks to Johnny Bolin, Bolin Speed and Performance, Brian Campbell, the car owner. This thing's been on absolute rails all week. We've got 1 car doing 4 classes and 3 B mains and then locked in the A. So pretty happy. Haven't been in a car in about a year and a half. So it's been a hell of a weekend.
Absolutely. Not too shabby. 1 car for all 4 classes. Austin Saunders getting it done. And like you said, paid off to run that one. He's going to start somewhere in the side of the top 8 of an LCQ.
Thank you, Chris Wilner. Lights are out here. Our skid steer work is done. We are ready to go. B feature number 8. Final B feature for stock non-wing. Trevor Klein, Cullen Hutchinson will bring us to green, who will win the race into turn number 1. Side by side still now as they work off at turn 2, and Jet Yantis in the picture as well.
Getting to the point where that sticky in the racetrack is a little less than it is, so you can't just haul the mail into the bottom and expect the racetrack to grab you. Got to tiptoe it a little bit more to make sure you get your car rotated. Yantis is taking advantage of that, getting past Hutchinson as he has got the second and final transfer spot.
Trevor Klein leading the way. Jet Yantis. Right there, though. Is the track wide enough to kind of the groove that Klein's running? I think it kind of blocks off a lot of the racetrack unless Yantis can keep it glued to the bottom.
You almost need to make an inside-out move.
Yeah,
Enter in
exactly.
high, try to diamond the corner off and cut low. If you can keep your speed up enough on entry.
Because Klein's been washing up a little bit. I think as planned.
Yeah, right here is that spot where if you get that good enough drive, you'd want to zip underneath. And you can see Yantis is backing that corner up.
He's not
trying
in the
to enter
clear.
high and cut underneath him.
Colin Hutchinson's right there, Caleb Hart.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sorry, this is important for Klein because he's got 3 cars right behind him. Hutchinson, Gross, and Yantis are all right there. So if there's one mistake from Klein, he might not just lose the lead.
Klein is holding strong, coming off of corner number 4. Yantis continuing to look for a path. Hasn't found one yet. Hutchison just hoping for one opportunity. We're down to 3 to go as Hutchinson tried to really crank him down off the corner, but it cost him a lot of track space.
Good thought, though.
Yeah, he got that left front on the berm, though. It just yanked him around enough. He lost a little bit of ground to Yantis. Yantis continuing, trying to do something with the 55X of Trevor Klein, but not working for him just yet. Klein continuing to set the pace, and now he's got a couple of car lengths as we come to the white flag.
Colin Hutchinson, his dad, Todd, former World of Outlaws crew guy. He's Colin Young Gun trying to lock in, but time has run out. It's going to be Trevor Klein and Jet Yantis staying alive.
The soup run ends as well for Gunnar Pio. Got to 9th.
Yep.
But
pretty impressive, but unfortunately for Gunnar, that'll be it. All right, 1/5 of the way down in B mains.
it's a good way to look at it, I guess.
A little bit at a time. We started back on race number 1 on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Heck, a little bit earlier than that, 6:55.
Yeah, you're right.
We were early.
Yeah, we went from worried we weren't going to be close to starting at 7 to starting
Oh,
pretty
hey,
well
you're on the
before
air.
7.
Have fun.
Yeah.
It was 2, 3 in the afternoon that day, and we're like, there is no way we are starting on time. Then about a half hour early, we're rolling.
And then the Tulsa Shootout surprised us, as
They did.
it usually does. There are no cars in the ramp, as you can see, from the Joe's Racing Products ramp cam. Welcome to everybody watching in, no matter where you guys are. If you're still early in the morning, say, I don't know, 8:14 out where we live, Blake.
Yeah,
10:14 Central and 11:14 on the East Coast.
I think my flight tomorrow morning is at 5. It is at 5 a.m. and it's like I'm gonna be back in plenty of time in Seattle for breakfast. And a nice mid-morning nap.
You know what would be nice?
What?
Chick-fil-A breakfast.
Yeah.
I've been saying that all week. All week. I will not settle down.
I think you should get angry.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
You're right. You're right. We are going to take a quick time out. We have got more B-Mains coming up as you guys are watching our live coverage of the 40th annual Smiley's Racing Products Tulsa Shootout powered by NOS Energy Drink here on FloRacing.
Welcome back, everyone, here to Flow Racing as we are still live on Championship Saturday for the 40th running of the Smiley Racing Products Tulsa Shootout, brought to you by NOS Energy Drink. I'm here with Trevor Klein, Millbridge regular. He won the final B main event for the stock non-wing division. Dude, nobody ever wants to be in this building on a Saturday early in the morning, right? You're moving on to an LCQ, long day ahead. What's it going to take to get the job done in the LCQ to move on into the A main?
Well, I guess winning the B is the first part, and sucks it was the 8th B, so we got to start on the bubble. But I got to get the car a little better, and I think we'll be okay. I could tell I was holding Jet up there, so I'll work on it, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, guys, Trevor Klein, when he got out of the car, he goes, we really need to work on this thing and get it faster for the LCQ.
Earl, appreciate it. K1 Race Gear interview with Trevor Klein. As we are now into the Hyper Racing non-wing outlaw B-mains. 12 laps, top 2 cars will move on. It's Robbie Smith from the outside of row number 1. And the 74 Sheldon Creed. Creed's got the early lead, but might have to do this all over again as one is rolled to a stop up here in turn number 3 and 4.
I did see Brian Holbert tweeted some fun facts about the Tulsa Shootout this year. Go ahead and get the lineup first, though, Caleb.
Smith and Creed, Gatch and Spicola, Sokol and Torgerson, Line Gang and Dickerson, Tyre and Brown, Piper and Miller make up your first 12 with your 13th and 14th starters being Zach Weigel and Colton Hardy. All right, fun facts.
The sum of every car number entered this year, 86,005. The most commonly used letter was B. 105 entries used B as their letter. I would have guessed like X, because that seems to be pretty common. Just throw a couple pieces of tape on.
All right.
The most used number is 5. 88 entries with car number 5.
Huh.
And the most common last name was Smith. There are 9 Smiths entered. 13 chases. First name Chase.
A lot of chases.
I think the B thing comes from a lot of guys just have a number, and then here you end up with how many guys with the number 5, so you put the first letter of your, your first initial of your first name on it, and you end up with B. Hey, Chris Wellner, I just want to let you know, 14th B feature 4, Connor Lee. So.
Oh, so what you're telling me is
smelling assaults.
Earl
you were
needs
Earl.
it.
Yeah.
All right. We may have to go find him.
Both of you, actually.
Yes.
Oh,
let's
tag
make it
team it.
Got to get the nostrils ready for this.
Oh, boy. We look to be good, but I did not think that was going to be good as we were. Yeah. Man, they're trying. They're trying.
Robbie Smith.
Sheldon Creed again.
Yeah, but not the restart Robbie Smith wanted. He's now back outside of the top 4. Got work to do. He'll pick off 1 car there. So Smith now back to 4th. He gets around 8 line gang. Colby Sokol, we just saw not that long ago, trying to fight off. Oh, Robbie Smith. Take that. Zach Weigel gets in there as well. Sokol and...
Could be...
Well, if there isn't a spot, make one.
Yeah.
Don't boxers use smelling salts before a fight or something? Maybe we can get some of that going.
Get you a look, Chris. Oh, boy.
You know, Robbie Smith, got to talk to him a couple of times at the top of the ramp. He's won a few heat races. Seems like a super nice guy. He's got in hot there.
Yeah, it's racing for limited amount of real estate right there.
Yeah. And I didn't get a great look.
Know that Robbie expected him to go down quite like that.
Yeah, so I was looking up at the track when Robbie shot up when he was running second with Sheldon Creed. Not at my screen here in front of me, so I didn't get a great look. I don't know if there was maybe contact between Creed and Robbie Smith, and maybe Robbie kind of got a fire lit under him.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Like,
You know what I mean? That kind of thing can happen, right? Somebody else gets you, and you're going to do, you're hell-bent to get back to him. Sometimes other guys maybe pay the price. And I'm not saying that's what happened, just a theory. As of right now, though, Robbie still has the 3rd spot. We'll see if, as they go by this time, if Terry signals anything. Nope.
there is definitely a version of what just happened in turn 3 that you chalk up to a racing deal. Things happen really quick, and you're in tight quarters.
Track's really fast right now.
It is.
Yeah.
And hey, do or die at that point.
Yeah. 2 spots are up for grabs. Sheldon Creed and Trevor Gotch have them right now. Here goes Robbie Smith, though, trying to get back into one. He'll dive to the bottom side down in 1 and 2. Contact again. Gotch came down the racetrack. And Aiden Line-Gang trying to get to Robbie Smith again. Gets shuffled up the racetrack in that 77 car.
You can definitely sense, I'm going to say desperation, right? This is the shootout for some drivers at this point in time. And yes, they are willing to push it to the ragged edge and take risks that maybe they wouldn't have done in their heat race or, say, a qualifier.
Yeah, we're watching some guys that are locked into maybe multiple other features, while other guys, this, as you said, Caleb, this is their shootout. It's do or die time. And right now, it is on here for those top 2 spots. Sheldon Creed.
Yeah, point out that I think Creed's transponder is dropped or is having problems, so they are hand scoring him and bringing him back up to the good.
Yeah, so it's Creed, Gotch, Line Gang, and Torgerson. Cruz Dickerson rounds out the top 5, but there's Sheldon Creed. As again, we continue to watch the Tulsa Expo Raceway get a little bit wider as we work through here.
Definitely starting to widen out. Still fast, though. Still low 12s, upper 11s in the time frame as Sheldon Creed 2 to go. Caleb Hart. Look at Wyatt Miller, maybe a little bit too late, but Wyatt's starting to find some speed.
Laps tick away very, very quickly here in just a 12-lap B main. As Creed looking to bring her home. Gatch in the 2nd spot. Line Gang on the outside looking in, and that will be it. No, it won't. Yellow flag. Taking a look on the racetrack and trying to see what happened. Debris, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, I see an official walking down from the top of turn number 1, so there might have been something up there that they picked up.
French.
All right, well, green-white checkered restart. Sheldon Creed going to be up against it now. Trevor Gatch.
Overtime.
Sitting in the 2nd. Line Gang on the outside looking in, as is Austin Torgerson. We're underway here. 2 to go. Line Gang looking to find some magic. Follows Gatch into the corner. Nothing doing on that first lap. One more try for Aiden Line Gang on the back of Gatch. Creed, restart, doesn't bug him at all. He'll take the win.
Line Gang tried.
Yep, he
gave
him
it
off.
You know, Sheldon Creed seems like the kind of guy who might join Chris Willner and Earl Hoon up there.
He might. Speaking of that, what are they up to?
This is the peer pressure that the folks at home are waiting us to just bite on. Here's Connor Lee. He's got some more smelling salts. Earl, have yourself a time, bud.
Here we go. All right, big whiff.
Oh, my goodness. I can smell from here. One more? Yeah, no, you got to get in there.
Clears the nostrils, folks. Let me tell you. Here we go. One more. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Mama.
And Connor, oh, yeah. By the way, he already had some before the last race. They put it on his head sock. He was like eyes watering as he was last running.
They put it on his head sock?
Yeah.
Ask him how he feels, Chris.
Hey, how do you feel after doing that?
Honestly, I feel like I could do anything I want to.
Yes, high five on that. I totally agree with that statement.
We're going to let him get strapped in. I'll go talk to Sheldon. But, boys, you're missing out. We're ready to do laps around this place.
Clinton's in the booth now. Clinton, you doing smelling salts?
No, but I need to because I was dragging butt this morning.
You got to look there at the lineup here for B Feature 2. Aiden Price and Joby Miller are tagging the back of it, and we might get a chance to read it to you. So we got a yellow Joby Miller, one of the cars involved, and I believe that's Jaden Fries in the other car. Yeah. Outside row there got stacked up.
That 5th day of consecutive early mornings, Clinton is getting to a lot of people in the building here today.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of racing to do, too.
Man, I know. It's crazy to think about the extra workload. I mean, normally I'm in here with you guys, and it's, we talk about how long it is in here, and I feel for you guys. And being back and forth has been tough for sure. I haven't been able to step outside the building, and obviously a lot of extra work driving the race cars, or more physical work. Not extra work, just physical work.
So there's a lineup here for our second B main, B2.
Yeah.
Hyper non-wing outlaw division. Yeah, Jet Nunley, Jake Andriotti, Corbin Ruschenberg, Jeffrey Newell, Sean Mahaffey, Thomas Koonsman, Brent Cruz, Tyler Courtney, Alec Quiggle, Reed Whitney, Brock Barrett, and Jaden Friesen. With 2 more to go, 13th and 14th.
We got Houdini over here.
That's all right.
It's like we put Caleb in timeout.
Yeah, he just scooted as far away from us as possible.
I'm going through all of the exercises to stay broadcast ready here. I had to create a little exercise space for myself so I can do some squats.
I was going to say, jumping jacks over there?
For activities.
Probably not a jumping jack. But
guys, just bring the smelling salts down here. Caleb
needs them.
Oh, boy.
Earl,
we
come
don't
on
need
down.
exercises. We just need smelling salts for Caleb.
Earl's on his way now.
Guys, I bet if Earl took some smelling salts before he stepped on the tee box, he'd drive the ball 743 yards.
Yeah, as you said, Clint, the club head speed would be
through the roof.
It's probably not going in the fairway, though.
Unmeasurable.
Well, you said it, not me.
It's going straight as an arrow.
It's
dude.
going in somebody's fairway.
I just like to get Anderson back out on the course. I mean, he's a washed-up golfer now.
I am washed up.
I like to get him back out on the course once in a while, boys.
We're all mean to Earl. Earl's mean or nice to us.
I know.
He wasn't nice to me this morning.
That was early.
Yeah, it was fine. It was funny.
It's still early.
Yes, it is.
You West Coasters, I'm telling you.
It's the best time zone.
How about this? B feature number 2. It's Corbin Ruschenberg getting out in front here in B number 2. Ruschenberg quickly racing his way out to the top spot from 3rd.
Well, slicing and dicing, finally seeing some lane changes and some moves here as the racetrack is offering 2 grooves. Barreling down in. Everybody chasing Ruschenberg and Koonsman. And then behind them, there's a look out front.
Koonsman started in 6th, so a good run for him to drive his way up into that runner-up spot. Jeffrey Newell and Jet Nunley now on the outside looking in. We're going to look here further back. Reed Whitney getting by Alec Quiggle. Quiggle trying to cross him back over to the inside. Whitney trying to hold him off, and he will do so. And Koonsman, meanwhile, throwing out the rod and reel and starting to reel in the back bumper of Ruschenberg. So we get to the halfway point.
That's a wheel.
Yeah.
And tire.
Uh-oh. And
Found
it's
its
going
home.
to pass the race car.
Found its home. Reed Whitney, hey, we got something for you, bud.
So Clinton.
Oh, good catch.
Yeah. Terry Maddox.
Gear change coming?
We did a gear change right before there.
Okay.
Yeah, right before we went to staging, and it was beneficial. I was tight for sure.
Okay.
Take a look at our iBox springs instant replay. There goes your left front. It looked loose.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Guys, the hub just broke apart here on that one.
That's not good. I can spit that tire off with some velocity.
Guys, I'll tell you too, it's tough to be awake this early, be alert, get your reflexes going, just be as sharp as you would normally be. So yeah, it's a challenge to race early in the morning like this.
Well, let's check in up top. K1 Race Gear interview.
Clinton, it's not a challenge if you had some smelling salts. Why don't you come up and have some? Meanwhile, Sheldon Creed's been busy this morning. Second time we've talked in probably about 30 minutes. You're done for a while. Many people don't know, though, you didn't race a whole lot this year. After a couple of tumbles in the micro, you kind of shut things down for a while. I think you're rolling pretty good now.
Yeah, I mean, B-Main Bandit this morning, I guess. So happy I was able to win both of those and have good starting spots for the LCQ. So I don't know, yesterday just wasn't as good for me. I wore my Nick Drake merch on Wednesday, won a couple heat races, didn't wear it yesterday, didn't win anything. So I made sure to do some laundry. I'm wearing it again
and starting off with a good morning.
Hey, anything to do for some luck. Sheldon Creed's moving on.
There's going to be a lot of race car drivers wanting to buy some Nick Drake apparel if that's the secret. And I wonder if Chris told Sheldon before that interview if he did smelling salts, or Sheldon was just looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about?
I think there's equal chance of any of that happening there.
Guys, this is for the lead out in front of the field. Might only be one spot, might be worth 8 spots, might be worth even more. But Tommy Koonsman really racing physical with Corbin Ruschenberg.
Yeah, Ruschenberg not willing to give an inch at this point. Clinton, you were running in second. How hard are you pushing from second, knowing that it could be a big difference in starting position?
Well, the first couple laps I was pushing pretty hard, and then my car kept getting tighter and tighter. I was like, well, I better just settle in here. I had Lucas Malden breathing down my throat for a little bit, and then Kyle Busch at the end. So, yeah, I was pushing hard to try to get to the lead, especially on those restarts.
Koonsman, look
Jeffrey
out.
Newell pushing hard.
Jeffrey Newell almost took a chunk out of his rear bumper. Newell, past shootout champion, on the outside looking in.
Yeah, time is running out. You see Jaden Friesen there. Remember, as that was the checkered, Ruschenberg and Koonsman are going to make their way to an LCQ. A good run, though, from Jaden Friesen, the opening lap. He was involved in that little tangle up. We had to reset the field. Drove his way back to 5th. But unfortunately, not good enough to continue on. So it will be Ruschenberg and Koonsman heading into LCQs. Non-wing outlaw, B feature number 3. Brant Woods and Brody McLaughlin on the front row. Rodney Westhafer and Danny Buckafuska in row number 2. Darren Brown already has a B main win. He'll go from 5th. Gage Weldon alongside. Steven Snyder Jr., another one with a B main win. He'll start 7th. Gavin Miller 8th. Drew Sherman, Ashton Torgerson, Todd Davis, Joshua Lewis, Seth Stenzel, and Frank Flood. Lights were out there for a minute. Now they're back on.
Got to get it. Looks like they're pushing a car onto the racetrack there.
Yeah, somebody needed a little bit of help get it going.
Getting a poosh.
A what?
Poosh.
Is that what you say in Iowa?
That's what the
Yellows?
Yeah, exactly.
Yellows.
Clinton knows. He gets it back there.
I've been around.
I've been around.
He's been around.
It's new to me.
Thank you,
you're
Caleb.
from Washington. East and West Coasters.
Yeah, way different.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Green flag is out here on B feature number 3. Brant Woods able to get out to the lead. McLaughlin in the runner-up spot. 3 wide back here for 3rd. Buckafuska in the middle, going to get squeezed out of it as Darren Brown on the march again. Darren Brown. Or excuse me, that's Steven Snyder Jr. Steven Snyder Jr. grabs 2 spots. Now showing a nose to Brody McLaughlin here for the runner-up spot.
Big Mac will challenge down to the low side from Snyder, who wants the final transfer. He has got it. Snyder not done. He's rolling in on Woods up front for the lead.
Yes, he is. Here he comes. Steven Snyder Jr. off the bottom of the racetrack, starting to rope in Brant Woods. 4 down, 8 to go, and Steven Snyder Jr. is knocking on the door of the lead.
As we've seen this racetrack get a little bit wider, the top side, or at least against that cushion, is where everybody wants to be, but Snyder's got a good enough race car to make passes on the bottom. Going to try and do that here. Maybe a short little slider into 1 and 2. He'll slow up Woods just enough to hang with him. Woods will block the line off in 3 and 4.
Opens the door just enough off the bottom of the corner to let Snyder sneak down low into turn number 1. Woods quicker back to the gas pedal, but Snyder, great acceleration, and takes the lead going into 3.
There's that short slider you were talking about, Chris Moore. Steven Snyder Jr. takes the top spot with 7 down and 5 to go, and he'll get to the high side and start to pull away. Brant Woods still inside that transfer as the battle for the 3rd spot picks up. Move Ashton Torgerson into 3rd. He'll try to rope in Brant Woods with 4 laps remaining here in B main number 3 for the non-wing Outlaws.
Torgerson from deep in the field in this one. He's all the way to 3rd. May need a yellow to have a shot at Brant Woods. Laps are clicking off quickly. We're down to 3 to go.
Yeah, that was Torgerson's really on the run. That race from Steven Snyder and Brant Woods was hard, clean racing. They went at it. I don't know that they ever really touched. Snyder will come to the 2-lap-to-go sign, still rolling out in front of that 21S machine. Meanwhile, 1.2 seconds, the difference between Brant Woods and Ashton Torgerson. He's definitely going to need a yellow to have a shot here at transferring.
White flag for Steven Snyder Jr. One more time around. It's been a good morning for him here in the Expo as his racing day continues in multiple divisions. Outlaw non-wing moves on. Steven Snyder Jr. will see him in the LCQ and bringing Brent Woods with him.
Well, Steven Snyder Jr. going to get a second interview of the morning with Earl and Chris. Brent Woods also stays active today. He'll move on to a last chance qualifier.